don't remember bringing that
I
up.
haven't seen something. I don't know that. Then Saturday and Sunday, we haven't seen something.
Yeah. It's always been.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good.
Oh, that was not.
Unagenda amendments only, and then down here is anything else. So that they can't separate everything.
Right.
It's just like urgent.
Right.
This
Yes, so they could, so do like 1, 2, 3, 4. They could read.
when Jeff
Okay,
reads it, I was going to get patient as we go.
okay. Well, I was here.
He called me at 3 or whatever.
All right, 6 o'clock, we'll call this meeting to order and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you for coming. Approval of the minutes, January 22nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any public comments on the agenda items?
Sorry, first time we're here.
Okay.
Are you asking about the current agenda items, or if I just had a topic to bring?
Any comments on the agenda items?
Sorry.
Okay?
Public input's down at the bottom, it's supposed to be number 12, and there's the end of his name.
Yeah, down at the bottom we have public input.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. Approval of January 2024 expenses.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, no old business, new business. Motion to approve or deny 2024 capital improvements budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Land development, Matt Jonas, please.
So the one thing we have on here tonight is bond release for 89 Peach Street. This is in part of Joe Askin's property, part of the Kia. They did a parking lot expansion, and they took an existing dry pond that was there and retrofitted it into a wet pond. I took a look at the final pond on February 1st. Everything was done according to what they had on the scheduled values. So I'd recommend release of the bond. The total bond amount was $62,546.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thanks, Matt. Motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve the release.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Donated use request, motion to approve or deny Valley View Farms HOA meeting room, March 19th, 24, 6 to 8 p.m.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion to approve or deny subchapter 8503 AFSCME Picnicana 7/10/24, 12 to 2.
That, Mr. Kuzma called me at 3:11 this afternoon and withdrew his application.
All right.
So what do we do?
I'll just mark that it was withdrawn.
Okay.
Joe, now, don't forget them public shelters are open. If the kids are gone at 4, you're welcome to have at them.
Yeah, we don't have enough money in our
checking right now, they pay for the rental, so I had it withdrawn.
Well, yeah, but if you use the shelters, you don't pay a rental.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, solicitor.
One of the things that's been for the township for a while has been compliance with Act 101. Act 101 is the obligation by the state for communities such as Summit Township that reach a certain number of residents with a certain density to have mandatory recycling programs. And I know that the township was marching towards compliance with that when they had Raccoon Refuse picking up the recycling. Of course, we don't need to rehash that saga, but they did shut down and declare bankruptcy or whatever. And so we've been trying to figure out the best way in order to comply with that without having to, if possible, without having to go to a single provider for all of Summit Township, without having the township go out and issue an RFP and hire one garbage company who would pick up all the garbage in the township for every resident and all the recycling. And so based off the good work of the staff here at the township, we received word from DEP that we would be permitted to approve an ordinance which would mandate that each resident have a garbage hauler, which we already have, but then amend that ordinance to mandate that each one of those haulers is to have recycling services that are in compliance with Act 101. So all that would do then is require that each one of the residents add to their contract with their existing hauler or whatever it is they want to do in order to have that recycling services, and the township would not be mandating one particular provider for all of the residents. So that is, I think, a good result based off the direction the supervisors had discussed and wanted to go. So we're putting those revisions together. We'll work with staff and making sure that it does in fact meet the desire of the township, and I hope to be in a position to have, advertise an ordinance, or at least deliver an ordinance for your review and consideration at the next meeting, and then if you are in approval of that direction, then we can advertise and get it done. There is an obligation under Act 101 that we have a March 1st compliance date. I think that is what the compliance date is. However, after further discussions with DEP, they are aware that we're taking significant steps towards compliance, and that a lot of the delays because it took them 2 months to answer our question. So we're working towards getting that wrapped up. So we should be in good shape.
Thank you. Matt Jonas, engineer.
Just an update on the Old Zook Road Improvements Project. I received a follow-up email from the Department of Community and Economic Development from Pennsylvania. I said that the wrong way, I should have went the other way, but just a follow-up regarding our grant application that we have in with them. By no means are we anywhere closer to getting a grant, but the fact that they've talked to us about the grant means that they're still considering it. I did not hear the same about Downs Drive, so that one may be done, but we're still in the running with Old Zook Road. And just as a refresher, this was a culvert replacement on Old Zook Road, as well as some storm water improvements and a sidewalk, so that the folks don't have to walk down Old Zook Road anymore. It will be a connecting Mill Creek Township to the Copper Lake development and 99 and beyond. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Tony.
Not too much going on with the snow plowing, but that's okay. We have had some opportunity to start picking away at some of the park projects early, so the guys gutted out the restrooms at Picnic Cannon the other day, and we're going to begin remodeling the interiors of the restrooms to make them nicer for everyone. So that's the big thing for me right now. Otherwise, everything's going as you can imagine, and hope the weather stays the way it is or gets better. No snow is good. Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks for coming, and we'll go right into public input. Anything?
You.
I guess I'll go. So my name's Ashley Hawk, and I'm a new Summit resident, just moved to Marley Way off of Hammett Road here. I spoke to Mark Welka on the phone. Just my concern is about the sidewalk connecting Marley Way and Dorn Road. So right now there's no sidewalk and we have to like walk on the berm there. And it's kind of an unsafe area with the speed limit being so fast. I know it's only 25 and people don't go 25. I mean, even when I turn onto Marley Way, I have people aggressively passing me, and when I'm walking my kids to the trails, you know, people are just zooming by you whether or not you have a child or not, so it just seems kind of unsafe. And you know, on Marley Way, we've got 4 new houses built up there, and a lot of us do walk that area, you know, either with children or dogs. So, you know, I didn't know if there was like next steps or how we would handle that. If that's up to, you know, the developer to do it now for safety reasons, or.
Can you get us up to speed on that?
So we do have a preliminary design for the sidewalk to continue from Dorn Road down to Marley Way. As part of the Hammett Road Phase 2, because of the budget, we had to stop at Dorn Road. So there is a continuation. And at the time, it looked like the Trails at 5 Points final phase was going to be developed. And at that point, the developer would put it in, but that project was stalled. And the thought was we'd have, whenever that section would go in, we would talk to the HOA for the trails because they own the property further down, and then the resident on Marley Way owns the last little bit to get to the intersection. We would use the sidewalk ordinance as a mechanism to get that sidewalk put in, but unfortunately, everything's kind of stalled at the moment. We don't really have a time frame of when that will continue on. So I spoke with Mr. Welka, and we had some discussions internally to see kind of what we would make of that, but we haven't gone any further than that at this point. We do have a preliminary plan, but as far as how and when we can put in, I don't really have an answer tonight for that.
Matt, can you talk about what the importance of already being in the preliminary plan is?
The fact that it's in the preliminary plan, we do have it on the transportation plan, we can compel property owners to put it in by using the sidewalk ordinance.
Okay. And you said that would be like the trails responsibility?
There's 3 property owners along that stretch. There's the final phase of the trails, which is a private ownership, and then the trails HOA owns the portion beyond that, and then there's the private property owner on Marley Way owns the corner piece.
How's grade elevations there? I don't remember. Is it?
We have the line grade worked out. There is some excavating work to be done to make it work, but it's not a ton.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I can't, you know, I know exactly where it is. You just can't picture what the landscape looks like.
Yeah.
How long of a run is that? Do you know, remember? Roughly?
Probably 400 or 500 feet.
Is it?
It might not even be that much. It might be closer to 300.
But it's scary walking on it. I mean, I have like 2 kids that are, you know, trying to get on the berm, you know, and they're just flying. But the other question I had along with the sidewalk was just the speed limit in general. You know, so the way Marley Road is, so like this is Marley Road, and right here is the 45-mile-an-hour sign. So I know when I talked to Mark, he said signs don't make people slow down or go faster, but it feels like people are gunning it, you know, behind me when I'm trying to turn. And like I said, I mean, I've almost got rear-ended a few times. And then people are flying so fast down that hill that a lot of times when I'm trying to turn out, I don't see anybody coming, but then right when I turn, I have somebody right up against me. So have you guys looked at like anything?
Constantly.
Yeah, okay.
That's between Hammond Road and Alder Road are probably the 2 biggest speeding issues at the moment. And we've constantly looked at ideas. The problem is they're old country back roads that became residential streets, and they're still straight, and everyone from the south is still used to going fast on them. So that's kind of the big problem. And there's always a big hesitation to do traffic calming because you're basically taking a road and putting objects in the way for people to dodge or putting bumps in it. So you're ruining a road to make it better. It increases the maintenance costs and everything on it, and eventually they may have to come out and that's additional costs. So we hate to break a good road, but we are looking at possible traffic calming on each of those. But in order to do that, there has to be complete buy-in from the community. So everybody on that road would have to be in favor of doing it. And I don't think it's there yet. And then as far as the speed limits, it's 25 starting in Marley. So one side of Marley is 25, the other side is 45. Mark and I talked, we could possibly move that sign kind of around the corner so you don't see it. So maybe people continue kind of going with 25 until they round the bend and see it up on top of the hill. That's a possibility. But as far as going the other direction, there's not a whole lot we can do to slow them down at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of like, we just back up the sign.
Yeah, and Mark's always communicating with the state police to try to get some patrols in there. There is a hope with the state police barracks being built just up the road that the police presence will help with that. So we're kind of in a wait and see mode with that to see if the extra presence of the state troopers in the area will help put that in line. But there's unfortunately speed's a problem everywhere, so there's only so much we can do, and there's only so much enforcement we can do.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, we reduced the speed to 25 on the remainder of,
On Hammond, yes.
on Hammond. It was what, 30?
It was 35.
Okay.
And when we did that, there was no change in the speed.
Right, yeah, and I don't think people go, I feel like people go 45 most of the time, but it just feels like there's, you know, I don't know, is it right by that road? It just is a little dangerous turning in and out of that on a Monday.
And the sidewalk project did help to slow people down, because we put the sidewalk, we put the crosswalks, and then putting the signs in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
The speed went from around 45 down to 40, so that did help. But beyond that, unfortunately, we're dealing with a very long, straight road. You get up on top of that hill, you can see the roundabout. So.
Yeah. So as far as the sidewalk ordinance go, is that something that like, because it's already in phase 2 budget, when does that phase 2 budget kick in? Is it a quarterly thing or?
Well, we've already did phase 2, so if you ever have time, you're more than happy to stop in and chat.
Okay.
So I can show you the ordinance, I can go over with you if you ever have time during the day to stop in.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can always, that way we don't tie up a hole.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just didn't know if there was any other actions on my part that I could do to like, you know.
And we can discuss that, yeah.
Help get it going. Okay. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, anything else? Public comment? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.